Good afternoon. Pleasure to have you all here, and welcome to the beautiful, windy Big Valley and Mifflin County and Metzler Forest Products. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all here today as we gather to celebrate innovation in the forest products and greater agricultural industries right here in Pennsylvania. We are honored to have with us Governor Josh Shapiro, Secretary of Agriculture Russell Redding, along with many other local elected officials and guests. Thank you all for joining us and showing your support of our industry and small business here in Pennsylvania. For those that may not be familiar with us, my name is Nate Metzler, and I'm proud to represent Metzler Forest Products today. Our company was founded by my father, Alan, in 1986 as a single-person logging contractor with a commitment to professionalism and integrity. These principles, coupled with an eye for innovation, have always been the core of what we do, and we are proud to continue that tradition with the support of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture's Ag Innovation Grant Program. This grant and the project it supports are a significant milestone for us and the forest products industry as a whole. I'd like to highlight that Metzler Forest Products is proud to employ over 80 dedicated individuals who are passionate about the work that they do. Our local community has always been important to us at Metzler Forest Products, and the growth of our business has allowed us to support that community and offer family-sustaining jobs, and that we are proud of. With this grant, we're going to take steps to increase our production of biochar, which we showed to Governor and Secretary Redding today, create new product lines, and improve our energy efficiency, allowing us to reduce waste and increase utilization of forest resources. We were proud to become one of the first commercial manufacturers of biochar in 2022 in the Mid-Atlantic region. So you might ask, what is biochar? Biochar is a high fixed carbon product produced by heating organic material in an oxygen-free environment. In agriculture, it improves soil fertility, boosts water retention, and enhances nutrient availability. Our customers see healthier crops and better yields. In soil and stormwater applications, it reduces nutrient runoff, binds toxins and heavy metals, and helps keep our waterways clean here in Pennsylvania. This grant not only supports the growth of our business, but also supports sustainable forest management practices and creates good-paying, family-sustaining jobs right here in Pennsylvania. As we look forward to the future, we're excited about the possibilities ahead. We're thankful to Governor Shapiro and his administration for their support and the Ag Innovations Program, which is the first of its kind in the nation, I believe.
It is.
With their commitment to innovation in agriculture, we can be confident that Pennsylvania will lead the way in both forest products and the greater agricultural industry as a whole. So once again, would like to thank you for coming out. It's great to have you here to showcase what Metzler Forest Products and our industry is up to. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Secretary Redding, for your time and your interest. And I'll turn it over to you, Governor.
Thanks,
Thank
Nate.
you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Nate. I got to say, it is really cool to be here. And Nate, thank you for the lessons. Thanks for walking me around. It was great to meet your pop and your mom, whose vision is just extraordinary. Great things are happening here in Mifflin County, here in Pennsylvania, because you had that vision back in the 80s. And Nate, it was also really cool to meet your brothers. Very, very special to have this family-owned company making such a huge difference here in Pennsylvania. So I just want to say thank you. I learned a lot, and I've got a lot of notes that I'm taking back with me to continue to do this work we're doing to lift up the forestry industry and, of course, agriculture in general across Pennsylvania. I'm excited to see Nick Gilson, again, a beneficiary of Pennsylvania's forests, CEO of Gilson Snow. They make incredible snowboards that I must confess I've never used on the snow, but I do have it hanging up in my office, and it is quite beautiful. I visited there back in 2023. So to see the work of the wood coming out of the forest here to a place like Metzler, refined at a place like Gilson, and then out being enjoyed in Pennsylvania, Canada, and all across the world is really, really special. So it's good to be with him. It's good to see Commissioner Kevin Kodish and other elected leaders who are here. Y'all are doing a really good job working together here in this community, and I'm thankful for your leadership. I'm happy to be back in Reidsville to visit one of our premier forest products companies, and the team here at Metzler, I got to say, really does it all, from clearing land for new construction to working with customers on targeted timber harvesting to procuring wood chips and pulp logs for paper companies in Pennsylvania and across the country, to converting harvested wood into high quality products that's safe for use in our gardens and our playgrounds. The biochar process that they go through is really cutting edge and quite special. I can also report to all of you who are wondering, they have nothing to do with the torpedo bats that the Yankees have been using. And if they do get into that business, you promised me the Pirates and the Phils would get first dibs on those bats. I wanted to be here today because forestry is a critically important part of our economy in Pennsylvania. And it's something we are really focused on making sure we invest in, we pay attention to. About 600,000 of our fellow Pennsylvanians work in the ag industry, generating $132 billion a year. About 60,000 of those Pennsylvanians work in forestry, and that represents about $39 billion of overall economic impact to the Commonwealth. That is big business. That is a big deal. I know it's critically important to Mifflin County. Hear me on this. It is critically important to Pennsylvania that our forestry industry be strengthened and have the support of our state government, and have the support, I would hope, of government across the board. I think to ignore forestry, to ignore ag, is really not just disrespectful to the industry, it doesn't make sense economically. You know, last year I unveiled the Commonwealth's first ever economic development strategy. It was the first time in about 30 years we had a focused attention on economic development. And for the first time ever, agriculture and forestry is one of the 5 pillars that we are focusing on. So no longer would Pennsylvania just invest in areas with high rises or sprawling suburban office parks. We believe that economic progress runs right through our state forests, runs right through our farmlands, runs right through rural Pennsylvania. And it's not just lip service, we are putting our money where our mouth is. I recall back when I was campaigning to be your governor and spending a whole lot of time in rural Pennsylvania. One of the things I would hear from folks involved in forestry or other parts of our ag sector is they would say, we need more access to capital. We need to be able to grow our operations. We need to be more efficient. We need to be able to adopt the latest technologies, and we need a little bit of help from the state. After I was elected your governor, after promising to them we would do something about it, we've made good on that promise. We came together last year, Democrats and Republicans alike, to create the brand new, first in the nation Ag Innovation Fund, to invest in those things, to provide capital, to help companies like Metzler be able to produce more product more quickly, more efficiently, with more folks, maybe more environmentally sensitive as well. And we put $10 million into farmers and ag producers' hands in the forms of grants and loans and technical assistance to help them buy new equipment, incorporate new technology that allows them to work more quickly and more efficiently. Because listen, if we really want to lead here in Pennsylvania, we've got to empower our ag industry, and we've got to embrace the latest technologies. Technology and ag go hand in hand, and we've now got the first ever fund to put those things together and make sure those investments are meaningful. The Ag Innovation Fund is helping a company like Metzler. They received one of the first innovation grants and are using it to install, right behind you there, a new higher capacity manufacturing system to create the biochar that farmers across Pennsylvania can use to boost crop yields and improve soil health. You see, when we invest in innovation at a place like Metzler, it helps our farmers out. It helps those who rely on the foods that our farmers produce to get more of it and to be able to get it in a higher quality way. My administration prioritizes ag because it's a critically important part of who we've been, who we are, and who we need to be in the future if we really want to compete effectively. I think standing with our ag sector, especially our hardwoods and forest products industry, is particularly important, especially right now. I'm mindful that we're here the day before the federal government imposes massive tariffs across the board. And while I know Metzler sells most of their products domestically, I'm worried about the larger forest products industry here in Pennsylvania once those tariffs hit tomorrow. And other countries then hit us back with retaliatory tariffs. You see, Pennsylvania is the top exporter of hardwoods and forest products in the entire country. We lead the way there, and we need to protect that marketplace. And look, recent history has shown us that this industry has been hurt by tariffs. This is not hard to understand. A tariff is a tax, and it increases the prices for consumers and businesses alike. After the Trump administration put more modest tariffs in place back in 2018, and other countries retaliated, as a result, American hardwood products, well, they became more expensive abroad. Because American hardwood products were more expensive, fewer people bought them, and American and Pennsylvania companies lost significant market share. Those tariffs resulted in a drop of $1 billion in sales for the American hardwood industry. And still to this day, that industry has not been able to make up the lost ground. Domestic production of hardwood lumber has declined by 50% since 2017. And that means fewer jobs here in Pennsylvania and here across the United States. And so for all the talk about here in Pennsylvania, these are companies who are already here, who are suffering because of past tariffs and who I believe will suffer because of those tariffs that are going to be imposed tomorrow by the President of the United States. I'm not sure why the President wants to do this to our ag sector, but here in Pennsylvania, I want you to know we give a damn about agriculture. We give a damn about our dairy farmers, our apple growers, our potato producers who I was with just last week. And we, of course, give a damn about our forest products industry that are represented here today. I'm trying to make life easier for all of you. I want you to grow your businesses. I don't want people to make it harder for you, and I don't want you to have to contract any more than you were forced to years ago. We're going to continue to invest in our farmers. We're going to continue to invest in our ag sector. We're going to continue to make sure that billions of dollars of economic development investment make their way to rural communities like this. We're going to continue with our First in the Nation Ag Innovation Fund. I hope the federal government will join us in making your lives easier, not harder. And I'm going to continue to believe in you, believe in great companies like Metzler, and continue to highlight the way those trees come out of the forest, come to great companies like this, and end up in communities all across Pennsylvania. From the supermarkets where people wander into to get a little bit of wood that they're going to use for their outdoor fireplace or somewhere in their home, to the people who are just trying to make their garden look beautiful, to the folks who are using this product on their farmlands. I want you to be successful, and we're going to continue to invest in you, to believe in you, and to encourage you along. So I want to say thank you to the team at Metzler for having us today, for educating me more on the importance of the work you do, and I want you to know that I give a damn about you, and I've got your backs. And with that, to tell you more about this important industry, I'm excited to welcome Stephanie Phillips-Taggart, the Executive Director of the Keystone Wood Products Association, for some additional comments. Stephanie, floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. As the governor said, I'm Stephanie Phillips-Taggart, Executive Director of Keystone Wood Products Association, or KWPA for short. KWPA is a nonprofit hardwood utilization group, or HUG. There's a lot of acronyms in this industry. And we serve 11 counties in central Pennsylvania. I work very closely with my counterparts, the Allegheny Hardwood Utilization Group, as well as the Northern Tier Hardwood Association. Together, we serve 34 counties in northern and central Pennsylvania. Through engaging industry education, we're promoting the use of real American hardwood, homegrown here in Pennsylvania, and we're generating workforce development opportunities. When the grant program was announced, the HUG sprung into action because we really wanted to support our member companies through the application process. Being here today and seeing the grant funds come to fruition is very exciting. On behalf of the HUGs, I would like to congratulate the recipients and also thank the governor and his administration for their pledge to advance the industry, which represents the largest sector of agriculture. Not only does it employ, and I know that you mentioned this before, but we have to focus on this, 60,000 Pennsylvanians, and it has a $39 billion direct economic impact on the state annually. That's profound. And Pennsylvania is known as the #1 hardwood producer and exporter in the world. It was once said that innovation distinguishes a leader and a follower. With forward-thinking companies embracing opportunities to implement new agricultural technologies while prioritizing environmental stewardship, the industry will remain a leader for years to come. The bright future can be seen right here in the practices of family-owned and KWPA member Metzler Forest Products. It's one of the first companies in the United States to commercially produce biochar. In part, through the funds awarded, they will not only increase biochar production, but they will implement technologies that will allow them to more efficiently capture the heat generated from the process to fuel a new lump charcoal production line. Through its advanced use of low-grade materials, Metzler will foster economic growth by producing products which support sustainable forest management practices and provide local, family-sustaining careers. The Pennsylvania Agriculture Innovation Grant will also enhance the vitality of KWPA members A&M Logging, Bingaman & Son Lumber, Forsey Lumber, and Woodland Biomass Innovations. These examples are all possible because of the diligence and determination of the forest products companies backed by the Shapiro administration's commitment to innovation. With over $10 million already pledged to 88 agricultural entities and a plan in the governor's upcoming budget to fund a second round of innovation grants, providing an additional $13 million. The future is bound to be vibrant. In closing, I will leave you with a quote from Thomas Jefferson. Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will, in the end, contribute the most real wealth, good moral, and happiness. And I definitely agree. And now I would like to introduce you to Nick Gilson, CEO of Gilson Snow.
Thanks, Tiffany. That was great.
Thank
That
you.
was great.
Good to be back with you, Gov.
Yeah, you too.
Nate, the entire Metzler family and team, thank you for having me out today. My name is Nicholas Gilson, and I am the CEO and founder of Gilson Snow. We're an American company building premium snowboards and skis here in Pennsylvania. We've shipped to over 50 countries around the world, and we are deeply committed to our Pennsylvania roots. At Gilson, we are focused on American innovation. We are committed to the strengthening of our American workforce. We operate at the intersection of emerging manufacturing technology and the thriving hardwoods industry here in Pennsylvania. No matter where you fall politically, most of us agree on the value of things made here in America and creating high-quality jobs at home. We all want to support American innovation and American jobs that strengthen our families and our communities. I understand the intention behind the tariffs in protecting American manufacturing, but in actual practice on the ground level, there are adverse side effects. When hardwood suppliers in our ecosystem, for example, are negatively impacted by these tariffs and then retaliatory tariffs, their export business is hurt, which hinders cash flows, increases prices for American customers, and has ripple effects through our entire economy. If our suppliers are not healthy, it's going to be hard for us to be healthy as well. We live in an extraordinarily interconnected economy. Tariffs on imported materials, especially timber and specialty woods, impact companies like ours in very real ways. They raise input costs, strain supply chains, and make it harder for American manufacturers to compete with foreign competitors. Beyond the cold economics, I also want to recognize that these tariffs are having an impact on the perception of American-made goods. American-made has come with a certain prestige that is getting undermined by these policies. For example, there are now boycotts in Canada against American-made goods, a market where we formerly exported 50% of all of our exports. These actions are changing the global perception of what it means to be American-made, and these shifts in consumer perception impact all of us. And I think almost all of us can get behind the idea that supporting American innovation, American jobs, strengthens communities and strengthens families. I appreciate Governor Shapiro's administration's commitment to Pennsylvania working families and businesses. We share the goal of supporting and growing a thriving manufacturing ecosystem in our state, and that means looking closely at how these policies, including trade policy, affect businesses on the ground. I'm hopeful that with open dialogue between business leaders and policymakers at the state and federal level, we can craft smarter strategies that protect American workers, foster innovation, and strengthen our economy. This is about ensuring the future of American manufacturing remains strong, agile, and competitive on the global stage. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing: good jobs, strong communities, excellent products, and pride in what we build together. Thank you. I would like to introduce Secretary Redding. Thank you.
Thank you. Governor, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. What an honor to be here and to stand with the governor any day, but to particularly do that in Mifflin County and to do it here at Metzler's. It's a good day, right? It really, I learned a lot, as the governor says often on these tours. You know, you go through and you think you understand a particular industry, and then you get a chance to sort of hear the folks who are the architects of it, right? And the entrepreneurs, and starting here, just to think that there was a one man, right, with a chainsaw, and then you look around and you're really humbled by the work and the journey. So thank you, Alan, and to the team. Thank you for the hat, by the way. I'm going to say thank you. I see John Geyer, and I realize that he will be very disappointed if I don't say wood is good. Right?
There you go.
He reminds me every time the most important thing I can say when I go to the podium is wood is good, and it is.
Let me help you here. We got to get the Metzler logo.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. But let me build on a couple of points that the governor and others have noted. And beginning first with just a thank you to the folks that are standing here with us. We arrive here in every form of a partnership. Right, it's with the companies, it's with the HUGs and the hardwood utilization groups, it's the PFPA and the forest products team, it's the economic development folks and the farmers and lenders and folks who really make agriculture and certainly this county and this business and state thrive. So thank you for that. We also are here reminded that we have this amazing sort of legacy of strength in our forests. Right? It is what brought us here, it is in our name. It is something that we value. We figured out, as the governor noted, to really elevate the entire agricultural story inside of our economic development work. And just a little backstory, several years ago, we were thinking about a new economic development impact report for Pennsylvania agriculture. Part of the challenge, as you can appreciate, is defining what is ag. It's diverse, it's everywhere, it's Amish, it's English, it's first generation, it's 10th generation. We put all that together, but really important for us, for the very first time, is to have the forest products industry identified as a key part of our economy and the agricultural definition in Pennsylvania. As the governor noted, critically important to jobs and the economy. And we built it out, and that set the stage for the governor's inclusion of ag as one of the pillars, as noted. And it's easy for us to identify the tangible pieces of this industry, right? It's the 17 million acres. It's the jobs, the economy, it's the trucks, the people, the places. But we also know inside of this definition is the intangible, the things that really make a community function. It's the quality of life. It's the hunting, it's the tourism, it's the access for recreation, it's the groundwater recharge, all of those things that most of us sort of talk about or think about, but not always connecting back to agriculture and our forest products industry. So that is what we are here to talk about, to elevate, and to celebrate. But acknowledging it's important is one thing. Investing in it is another. And that's where I want to appreciate the governor and his leadership. As he noted, had a vision for it. and we just accelerate it by way of investment in the Innovation Fund. We had $10 million to spend, very first program of its kind in the country. The problem is we had 68 million in requests. 68 million. And I can tell you, looking at each one of those applications, and Mike Roth is here, who's administrator of it, it's hard to find somebody who did not sort of qualify or put forth the very best idea of innovation for their particular business. So we are humbled by the 10 million, the 88 projects, as Stephanie notes, but there's more to do. And we know that innovation is part and parcel to success in any business, and particularly in agriculture. We are here as a product of that innovation over years, right? We are here as a product of research done and now investments in innovation. We know that there are many benefits to innovation, but innovation, most importantly, pushes us forward. It pushes us forward. And we need that to be competitive. We need it to deal with the tight labor markets. We need it to compete domestically and internationally. It pushes us forward. So we are proud of the Innovation Fund. We're proud of the companies that have participated. And as noted, really want to call out the forest products industry for their aggressive sort of application. And they did some amazing things, doing amazing things. We'll get a chance to visit with them. But there is more to do. So a note of thanks to the industry for investing in Pennsylvania, investing in innovation. And final point is all of this is to compete at some point, as Nick noted, domestically, internationally. We spend a lot of time thinking about how do we build sort of Pennsylvania agriculture and our businesses. The governor has been very intentional about this. He's very competitive, as we know. Competitive, though, in a very spirited way and an encouraging way to make sure that we as an industry are taking full advantage of the assets that we have here in Pennsylvania. Those assets are workforce, they're assets of our ports that link us to the world in different ways, the assets of our natural resources and so forth. But part of that is recognizing that as a country, we are 5% of the world's population. 5%. That means 95% of the consumers are someplace other than the United States of America. And John will usually cringe when I say this, the 95% of the stomachs, if you're in the food business, are someplace else. But we also know those consumers are wanting our hardwoods here in PA. So we have to compete is the point. And the governor and I have really spent a lot of time thinking about this. How do we position Pennsylvania? How do we make sure that we're doing the right things from a state policy standpoint? But it's also recognizing that we have to compete on the international stage as well. And that's only possible with a partnership. In the partnership of our federal government, the folks who represent us around the world, making sure that we're putting good products out, but also working in full partnership. It's a partnership at the state level with our General Assembly. It's also a partnership with every business and every economic development community across the state. And most importantly, it's a partnership with our county commissioners here in PA. So on behalf of the Department of Agriculture, I want to say thank you to our public officials who work with us in partnership. We've got a lot of work to do, and it's my honor to invite Commissioner Kodesh to share some words. So thank you.
Thanks, Secretary.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Whose hat do we have here? Good afternoon. What a wonderful day it is today for Metzler Forest Products and for Mifflin County. Farming has always been vitally important to our county and its citizens. In these challenging and uncertain times, it's great to know that we have a governor like Josh Shapiro is willing to partner with businesses and provide grants that foster economic growth while supporting environmental sustainability. Governor Shapiro has worked tirelessly to create an environment where state and local governments and businesses are working cooperatively and creatively to enhance our great Commonwealth. Today's grant represents a big contribution to Pennsylvania's ag economy. On behalf of my fellow commissioners, Postal and Wise, who are here with me, Thank you, Governor Shapiro, for your enthusiastic support of this Metzler Forest Products Initiative. It's a big asset for us to know that we all have a friend in the governor's office. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Appreciate it, man. That's very nice. Thank you. All right. I think in honor of April Fool's Day, I'll ask questions to the media instead of them asking me. How about that? Go ahead. What's on your minds? Anything? No? All right. Off topic? No? You taking off topic? All right, we'll take one. Go ahead. Did you not have the camera rolling before, or what?
I did not. U.S. District Judge Susan Paradise Baxter has ruled that 67 counties in Pennsylvania may not invalidate mail-in ballots simply because they lack accurate handwritten dates on their exterior return envelopes.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on that ruling from her.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've got a long history on this. I was the Attorney General of the Commonwealth for 6 years and obviously have continued to protect voting rights as governor over the last 2+. And I'm always on the side of enfranchisement, not disenfranchisement. I believe that those issues in terms of the dating on the outside of the ballot, if everything else is in order, shouldn't be a reason why someone loses their vote, whoever they vote for, Republican, Democrat, whoever. And I think, seeing the court agree with that is just yet another example of where the courts have sided with the voters and on the side of enfranchisement, whoever they choose. I would assume the other side is going to appeal and this issue will continue on, but it is good to see yet another judge, this time at the federal level, side with our voters and making sure their voices can be heard come election time. Okay? Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.